Yo, what's happening, people? Okay, we are live right now, live from the village right now. It is 14 minutes past 9 p.m. right now. It is the 31st of January 2023 right now. I'm in London, England right now. I was in Karachi, Pakistan just like 24 something, maybe 30 hours ago. I'm back in my hometown and I want to talk about my recent trip, my recent tourist holiday excursion to Karachi, Pakistan from the, 25th of January to the 30th of January. I want to talk about all of that. I've got some pictures to show you, I've got some videos to show you. And yeah, I would say overall I had a good time. Maybe a few negative experiences, but overall I had a good time. So let's talk about all of that. Let's talk about everything. But before I do, let me just switch over to this screen so y'all can hear me chatting. In fact, let me take this off for a second. So yeah, you can see some of the pictures right there. But let me take that off for just a moment or two. Yo, walk one, Jacob. Little J in the place. How is ya, man? How is ya? Welcome back to Blighty, my old son. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. I got back. When did I get back, actually? So I left Karachi. It would have been about but yeah, it would have been at 5:15 a.m. Karachi time. Right. This is on the 30th of January. So Monday, early hours of Monday morning, Karachi time, 5:15 a.m. I think I arrived in the UK at I think it was about 12:30. Yeah, sometime between 12 and 12:30 p.m. UK time. Bear in mind, it's a stopover from. It was a flight to Karachi. So a flight from Karachi to Istanbul. Then from Istanbul to London. In total, it was something like 7 plus 4? It was about 10 hours worth of flying, right? 10 hours worth of flying, and I arrived 12 in the midday. That's crazy because of the time difference. That's why, as I'm sure you figured that out. But yeah, I was mad tired when I got back. I was mad tired. Really happy to see you back. How was it? Tell me what's not. Oh, I plan to, sir. I plan to. How was the food? How was the hospitality? The hospitality was really good. I only met. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I mostly met friendly people. I would say the people who I met who weren't. Oh, okay. What was that? Something just happened on my computer and I don't know what, but I heard a notification of sorts and I can't see a notification at all, so I don't know. Hopefully that's nothing to worry about. Anyway, yeah, I mostly met friendly people. I think like I knew going there I was very likely to stand out a little bit. I figured it's probably going to be kind of obvious that I'm not from around there, I figured something might just kind of give it away that I'm probably not from around these parts. I figured I'll probably stand out quite a bit. But it's pretty cool. I think like most people just kind of look at you, they'll notice you, and then they just leave you alone. Every now and then, if you're sitting near somebody, they might ask you where you're from and that kind of thing. But it was cool. I think, yeah, most people I met were pretty friendly. Some people wanted to take pictures with me, which I thought was kind of odd, but hey, why not? I was like a little celebrity for a few minutes. I think they probably just thought I was a basketball player. You know what I mean? They probably just thought, hey, tall black guy, he must be one of those basketball players. Let me take a picture of him and show my son. That's what I'm guessing. But yeah, a few people were like, can I take a picture of you? So, well, all right, well, whatever, it's all good. But yeah, it was mostly a positive experience. Like I say, the few negative experiences I had were the two cab drivers. Most of my cab drivers were good, but I had these two cab drivers where one of them I'm not too sure about, but the other one I'm almost certain that guy was ripping me off. And especially because I've had other cab rides since then. Like this was like the first one I had, so I didn't really know how things go there. But since I had other cab rides since then, I'm thinking back to that first cab ride. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy ripped me off. Once I'll tell you more about it in a moment. I'm just trying to catch up a little bit. But yeah, food was really good. The food was really good. I had no issues with the food. Well, I'll come to that, but mostly the food was pretty good. Tell me you didn't drink the water. Kinda yes, kinda no. I mean, I didn't like have water, but I did have tea, coffee, you know, so water-based drinks. But that was fine, you know, that was fine. Well, again, most of it was fine. Most of it was fine. I'm sure you blended it. Yeah. Take pictures. Oh, I've got loads of. Oh wait. Oh, I just put. Yeah. They want to take pictures of me. Like a few. Like one guy. The first guy who asked to take pictures of me was the guy at a restaurant. I went to this restaurant near my hotel, and it was a cool guy. He made asked for some food. You know, he made me the food, made a good meal. And he wanted to take a picture of me, and I thought, okay, cool. You know, yeah, I'm sure that, yeah, they don't see many black guys there, or probably don't see many foreigners there, to be honest with you, because the hotel that I was staying in was in one of the poorer parts of Karachi. So they probably don't get too many non-Pakistanis there just in general, right? So it's probably like, yeah, can I take a picture? And I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, the other guys were at the airport when I was coming back. You know, I was just kind of waiting for my plane, and a few guys were coming up to me. They were like, can I take a picture? And I was like, all right. And then when that happened, a few other people came up to me and they were like, can I take a picture? You can't take a picture. I was like, all right, well, okay, cool. I mean, I don't know who you think I am, but all right, I'll take a picture. It's no problem. But yeah, it's like they've probably only seen black guys on TV and, you know, sports and movies and stuff. So I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I mean, I would say it did kind of feel a bit old after a while, where, especially, not so much when people come to talk to you, because that's kind of friendly when people come to talk to you, but more so when people kind of look at you and then they look away and it's like, okay, I get it. You ain't seen the black guy before. That kind of got a bit old, but at the end of the day, it's like, I can't do nothing about it. It's how they respond to things, and they don't bother me. So it's not like I'm not going to say nothing to that, but it did feel kind of weird when people just look at you, then look away. All right. They probably only see Burger TV there. Do you actually stay longer than a week? Kinda. I mean, I'll show you some pictures in a little while. By the way, I did take a few photos, so I'll put those up in a little while. But yeah, because I feel like there's definitely a lot to see there, and a lot you can check out, a lot you can do. But it's kind of weird because, like, once it gets to about maybe about 7 p.m., 8 p.m. or so, let's say about 9 p.m. really. Let's say about 9 p.m. There's not much to do because there isn't really like a nightlife there. You know, there's not really a nightlife. Like, I mean, there's things you can do in the evening. Like, you can go to a cafe that's still open, or go to a restaurant, or, you know, if you do shopping, there's like places you can do your local shopping from. But they don't really have like bars or nightclubs. And to be fair, I'm not really looking for that anyway. Like, my party days are kind of behind me now. So on one hand, it's like I'm not bothered that it's not there because I'm not looking for it. But it does feel weird when it's not there, because I'm so used to, like, if I've been to a place, they have like a buzzing nightlife and you see people like partying and stuff like that. And even if I'm not going to like a place or to do whatever, it's still kind of like, it felt kind of weird when it's just not there. Or at least not out in the open. I mean, if you know the right people, you can find a party, right? If you're in with the cool kids, you know what I mean? If you're in with like the cool crowd, you can find a party. But yeah, just as a general thing, you don't really have that. Would you recommend Karachi as a good holiday destination? I would, but yeah, maybe a few pieces of advice I'd mention. I've got Western food franchises that we're accustomed to. Oh, have they got? Sorry. Yeah. So they have like McDonald's there. But I might recommend you don't go to McDonald's, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But yeah, they got McDonald's there. They got KFC. They got there was a Subway. There was a Nando's. I didn't go to the Subway or the Nando's, but I did go to the KFC and the McDonald's. but mostly I was eating at sort of like the local places, like the sort of smaller restaurants and stuff like that. And yeah, they were fine. Like I had like, you know, snacks, and of course you can have places where you can get like, you know, 7-Up and, you know, those sorts of drinks and things like that. So I had those sorts of things like crisps. They have like, you know, Walkers, except they call it Lays. So, you know, you could get that sort of thing as well. But yeah, I mostly ate at like the cafes, mostly ate at sort of the local cafes. And it was crazy because like I didn't know when I was booking this, and perhaps this is, and well, not even perhaps, this is definitely on me for not doing my research a bit more. But I didn't realize that the hotel that I was booking was in one of the poorer parts of Karachi, which is not a problem. Not for me, not specifically, but it was very much like a kind of a shock. Because I mean, I went there because, or the main reason I went, I should say, is because, you know, I wanted to experience a different culture. That's the main reason I've kind of seen this as a place I wanted to go to, because the culture is different to what we're used to, and I wanted to experience that for a short while. But certainly when I got there and realized I was in one of the poorer parts of the city, it wasn't just different culture. It was like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know how they say, be careful what you wish for. It did feel kind of like that for a little bit, but it was good though. It was cool. Like, well, I mean, there's a lot of poverty there, so that's not cool, of course. And you definitely do see that a lot as you're walking around. Like, a lot of people will come to you begging for money. And the homelessness over there is, at least in my limited experience, seems to be far worse than the homelessness over here. Like, you see a lot of kids like who are homeless, like a lot of kids. Like, I'm talking like, I don't know, like 7, 8 years old, maybe like 10 years old, that kind of age. Like, you see a lot of kids. It's crazy. A lot of like homeless women, men, and yeah, they'll come to you. They're begging for money. You see like a woman with like 2-3 children, just like on the streets begging for money. So you see a lot of that, and it's the crazy part, or not even the crazy part, but amongst the crazy parts is that you can literally just walk a few street blocks, and then it's like all like the regular kind of high street shops, like the KFCs and the, you know, the Subways, and, you know, like the regular kind of high street shops. You know, a little bit further down you got all like the posh places like the Marriott Hotel and, you know, stuff like that, which is, I mean, London could be like that as well, to be fair, but it's certain places where that contrast is just so, you know what I mean, it's just so like poor rich, and it's very, very noticeable. And it's sad because, like, you see a lot of people, I say a lot of people begging for money, especially like a lot of kids. Yo, what up, Sam? A lot of kids, and you want to give them, of course, you want to help out, but you can't help everybody. And the other part of it as well is that as much as you want to give them money and whatever, it's like you also know that giving them money isn't necessarily a good idea, you know, for a few reasons. One is that I can give, say, 100 rupees, and that's not much money for me, but it's probably more money than most people would give to them, right? So if I give 100 rupees to somebody, then it's like you get followed, you know. You get, and the thing is, you get. I mean, to be fair, I got followed anyway. I remember this one little girl was like just tugging on my shoulder, tugging on my arm, like money. And she followed me all the way down the street, and I didn't have money to give. And at that point I didn't, and it got to the hotel, and I walked in, and, you know, I turned around, I could just see this girl just crying, and it's sad, man. You see that sort of thing, and it's like, bruh, it could be like that. But yeah, I mean, I'll show you guys some pictures in a little bit. Let me catch up a little bit again. Is it bilingual? Yes. So most people there speak English. Not everybody speaks English well, but to be fair, they definitely speak better English than I speak Urdu, so I can't complain. You know what I mean? I can't be mad that that not everybody speaks English well there, because it's like I'm me trying to speak Urdu is like what's that word again? Let me So yeah, a lot of people, I think most people do speak English, but not everybody speaks it well. But you can get around just fine. I mean, I had some translations on my phone, so I was able to be like, if I needed to, I was able to be like, you know, is, you know, was so sad, and it's fine. So I was able to get around pretty okay. But yeah, a lot of people begging for money. I bet when they discovered you was from the West, they gravitated towards you like bees on honey. You know what? I don't think it was that, to be honest. I think it's just, I mean, not so much that I think they realized I was from the West, because I didn't speak to everybody, of course. But I think it's just I'm clearly not from around there, and from the look of my clothes to the look of their clothes, there's a difference in terms of like, I mean, I don't know if quality is the right word to use, but because over here I'm nowhere near considered rich, right? But over there, it's especially, you know, coming with, you know, British money, from how I'm dressed. And I'm not dressed like fancy, at least not by British standards, but for how I'm dressed compared to how the average person dresses there, you know, I'm going to look like I've got money, at least compared to most people. I'm going to look, you know, so I think it's more that rather than, you know, thinking I'm that more a Westerner. I just think it's just the fact that I stand out way more than I probably even realize at times, you know. Yo, what up, Sam? Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the welcomes. Boy, it's finally back in Blighty, indeed. Yeah, thanks. I would have had all the translation apps on my phone. For real. But listen, I actually didn't use those apps as much as I thought I would. I had the apps on my phone, and I had some pre-saved translations as well. But I actually didn't use them as much as I thought I would, because again, a lot of people do speak English, not always well, but they do speak English well enough to understand what they're saying. And so in the end, I think I only really used it once. And even then, I probably didn't need to, but yeah. And of course, even though you have stuff saved on your phone, like I said, I had a bunch of translations saved on my phone. You can't save everything, and you know, situations arise where it's like, oh shit, I didn't prepare for that one. So I didn't want to try to pickpocket you, especially. No, and that's the thing. A lot for people. Yo, what up, Reese? Appreciate you coming through. Welcome back. Thank you. But yeah, nobody tried to rob me. Nobody tried to pickpocket. I mean, I'm not gonna say that stuff doesn't happen. I'm sure it does. But yeah, nobody tried. I'm sure it crossed people's minds, right? But nobody tried. I personally didn't feel like I was in any danger. I was walking through the streets as normal. Like I say, most people just notice you, but then kind of leave you alone. And yeah, like I didn't feel, and for the most part, I would say, you know, like I said, that cab driver, I'm pretty sure ripped me off. But for the most part, I felt like, you know, nobody's trying to rip me off. Nobody's trying to swindle me. You know, when I was going to shops, you know, they seem to be charging reasonable prices. I think in general things, not even think, I know, in general things are a lot cheaper over there, like compared to, like, for example, let's say like a cab ride from the airport to the hotel. It's about a 10-mile trip, and he charged me 4,000 rupees, which, by the way, like I said, I'm pretty sure you ripped me off for that 4,000. But anyway, 4,000 rupees is about £13 over here, ish, about 10-13 pounds over here for a 10-mile trip. Right, on a cab ride, a 10-mile trip with a cab ride over here, you'd pay more than £13. You know what I mean? You'd be paying a lot more than £13 for a 10-mile cab ride. So even though that guy ripped me off, I still paid way less than I would have done over here. And it's kind of like that. Things are just generally a lot cheaper compared to UK prices. Things been good, no complaints. Awesome, that's good to hear. This is why I couldn't go to places, because the hungry kids will make me cry. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's, I mean, they have like richer places or posher places, let me put it that way. And I did visit some of the posher places where you don't see that as much. And that's one of the things I say I'll do differently if I were to go again, is probably pick a nicer hotel. Partly because, yeah, it's heartbreaking seeing a lot of those kids begging for money and crying and things like that. And of course, me booking a better hotel doesn't stop that from happening, but it's kind of out of sight a little bit, which I know sounds a bit selfish. Well, it is selfish, can't lie. But I think the main reason I'd book a nicer hotel is because the hotel that I was staying in, and again, down to me for not doing the research, turned out was a 1-star hotel. It was a 1-star. Now here's the thing: when I go on holiday, the main thing that I care about as far as a hotel is concerned is that there's a lock on the door and I've got somewhere to sleep. Those are the main things that I care about, because in my experience, hotels pretty much have all the stuff you need. And I guess in previous holiday trips, I've probably booked 3-star, 4-star hotels without even realizing that's what they were. This time I didn't bother to check. It had a lock, it's got a door, I'm good. That's kind of my thinking. And it did have a lock on the door, and I did have somewhere to sleep. So as far as the very basic requirements of a hotel goes, it did that. But the thing is, it was cold because I don't know if the heating didn't work or I just couldn't figure out how to work the heating, but it was cold. Not freezing cold, but still cold. The water for the shower was kind of warm a little bit, but mostly not quite. So it's kind of you had the hot water tap, which came out as like just a little bit above cold, and then you had a cold water tap, which was just cold, right? Which is funny because the sink was fine. Like the hot water in the sink was fine, but for some reason the shower was like a little bit above cold. That's what it was. So yeah, I got to shower, I guess, but yeah, I think just little things like that. I would say I'd probably book it. And also another reason I book a nice hotel if I was to go again is that I was saying Jacob before, like there's no real nightlife in Karachi. So unless of course the cool kids, right? There's no real nightlife. So once you get to about sort of 7 p.m., 8 p.m., that kind of time, I mean, you could go out and there's restaurants and there's like cafes and things like that, but that's pretty much it. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it. You kind of go back to your hotel and it's like it's too early to go to bed, but what am I going to do? There's nothing to do. You know what I mean? I just ended up watching episodes of Buffy on my phone. It's like I flew halfway around the world. I just watching Buffy on my phone. Like, you know what I mean? So it could be like that. So I think like a nicer place where might have more things you can actually do in the hotel. So there's that as well. But yeah, aside from that, it was fine. It was fine. Not bad. Fix an OLED TV, awesome. And an Xbox, nice one. I don't know, pretended to be a celebrity and get a special treatment. Oh, I should have done that. I should have been like, hey, don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? Watch a video of a guy being scammed on the camels. They were purposely taking him the wrong way and overcharging. Apparently, those I mean, I didn't know this, and it's kind of. I mean, I've been told two different things. I've been told by one person that that you're not supposed to support those camel ride businesses because apparently they mistreat the animals really badly. Somebody else told me that it's not nothing to worry about. So I don't know. Maybe both. I guess both things could be true at once, right? Maybe some people treat them well. Maybe some people don't. I guess I'm not gonna know which one I got. But yeah, I mean, our camel ride. I don't think he scammed me. He told me it was 200 rupees for the ride, and I gave him. I gave him 300 because I gave him a tip, but he didn't try to charge me extra. As I chose to give him a little bit more. But yeah, he told me 200, and when it came to it, yeah, he did ask for more. I just decided I just gave him a little bit more. I would say if you go to Karachi and if you want to take. Like they, apart from the camel ride, they also have like these like buggy rides as well. Like this guy on like a motorized buggy. Pay attention to when they're telling you the price. Pay attention, because the guy was telling me the price, but I think in fairness, I probably wasn't listening as well as I should have, because I heard 500 rupees. It turns out it's 500 rupees per round. So he's just going around. I'm like, and I can hear him say things like, "Oh, that's 2 rounds, 2 rounds." I can hear him saying that. But it's not really registering with me that means more money. So by the time we got to the end of it, it was like, oh, so that's 7 rounds. And I'm going to give him 500. He goes, no, that's 3,500. Like, oh, shit. And it's like, yeah, 500 per round. And I was thinking back to it, I was like, you know what, I think he did say that. Like, I don't think he was ripping me off. I think he actually did say that when I was thinking back to it. And it's like, it's just me not really paying attention. But he let me up with 3,000, so it weren't too bad at the end. It was a cool ride, though. I can't lie, it was a cool ride. I've got a video of that. I'll show you guys in a little while. Yo, what up, Brax? Brax Spivin, a place to bivvy. I would find out how to see poverty. I would be giving all my dose to the big dose. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's real tough because, like, I mean, like over here, for example, you see a homeless person, you might give him some change, you might not, and if you don't, you know, they usually just leave you alone. It's rare. It is rare you'd see a homeless guy ask more than once for spare change. But yeah, it's tough over there, especially like, I mean, you think about it, if you see like someone who's like 6-7 years old on the streets begging for money, chances are, and I don't want to say this for a fact because I don't know, but in my mind at least, chances are that they've probably lived most, if not all, their life on the street. So they likely don't know any other life apart from begging. You know what I mean? And then even some of the kids who aren't on the streets begging, like, you see, it's not uncommon to see kids working in like a local shop, you know, instead of going to school or something like that. Like, you see them helping out with their, I guess, their family business or something, just to help kind of pay bills or whatever. And so yeah, it's like it's the poverty out there is a different level for sure. Actually shocked you haven't lost weight with the water out there. I thought you'd have shit please. Nah, it was all good. Well, almost all good. Let me come back to that, but it was alright. It was alright. Worst way to spend it, even though to be fair, that is true. That is true. What's up, though? What's going on? Yo, what up, Brax? I get eaten alive out there. Oof. You know what? Oh wait, I didn't read that properly. Sorry, my bad. I'm not very well traveled. I get eaten alive out. Okay. I mean, so I'll say I would recommend going. I mean, overall, I would recommend going. Definitely look out for things, of course, and keep your wits about you, blah, 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 blah. But overall, I still would recommend going. But yeah, maybe just check the hotel you're booking before. Don't do what I did and just book a cheap hotel and be like, oh, yeah, that would do. Yeah, maybe check the hotel before you go. But apart from that, yeah, I'd still recommend going. How was it? No, it's all good. Like, I feel like they're, for the most part, this is friendly people that I met. You know, well, a couple of instances, but most part, yeah, I feel like people are pretty friendly. Like, I met these guys when I was so after the thing on the beach where I ended up paying like 3,000 rupees for the go-karting buggy thingy. I didn't have any cash on me at that moment, so I had cash in my hotel room because I don't carry all that around at once, but I had pretty much no cash left over at that point, like maybe 3 rupees. So I'm looking for a ATM, and I'm looking at my GPS, because you can search on Google Maps to, you know, for ATMs, and I can see there's some nearby, so I'm looking for some, but it didn't seem to be right where it was on the GPS, and I don't know whether that's because of location or I don't know, it doesn't matter. But this guy's looking around, and he helped me find where the nearest cash machine was, so I did that. And then when I got some money out, I started looking for a place where I could maybe go get something to eat, because my plan was to like find, because I was looking on the map and I saw there was a KFC nearby, so my plan was to go to the KFC, get something to eat, then ask somebody at the KFC to book a cab for me, because I can't book cabs myself because I don't have any of their cab apps or anything like that. I can't join up to them because I don't have a phone number there, or don't even have internet access when I'm outside the hotel. Not really. But anyway, that was my plan. But what ended up happening is, as I was walking, I saw that same guy who helped me find the cash machine, and he was like, "Hey, did you find the cash machine?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Cool. Do you want to come sit down with me, have some tea?" And I thought, all right, yeah, why not? And by the way, this ain't just some random dude, but it was a guy that worked at, it was like a restaurant nearby, like a cafe restaurant nearby. and he was the guy who works as a valet, so helping people park their cars and stuff. So he mostly sits outside and just waits for people to come, and as they come, he helps them park. But yeah, he was like, he wants some tea. So all right, I sat down with him, talked to him for a little bit, told him, I'm from London. He was like, yeah, I've got family in London, and that kind of thing. He offered me some tea. I said thank you, and then he wouldn't let me pay for it. I was like, also, how much for the tea? He was like, no, you're my guest, So yeah, it was a real cool dude. And also when it came to booking a cab, I asked him if he knows where I can book a cab from, and he goes, we need to get a cab. I was like, yeah, I just need to get back to the hotel. And he's like, all right, and he calls the manager out, and the manager like gets on his phone and he helps me book a cab. And the way their cab work over there is like, most, they have different ones. I know over here with like Uber, you pay on your credit card and it's all done on your card. Over there, most of the cab services, you pay cash. So even though you could book it on your phone, you still pay the cab driver cash. So I didn't give them any money or anything like that. The cab guy comes and then he takes you where you go, you pay cash. And what they have is a bike cab service where you can get on the back of a motorbike and they take you where you go. Here's the thing though, they don't have helmet laws over there, so you don't actually have to wear a motorbike helmet. So I was on the back of a motorbike, no helmet, with this guy taking me back to a hotel, and it was like 200 rupees for the trip. And yeah, I get there, and I again gave him a tip as well. But it's not many places you get to ride a motor. Not that I'd recommend it, by the way. You probably shouldn't do it, but it was cool. It was cool. When in Pakistan, do it to Pakistanis, I suppose. And I watched the last. Oh, that looks pretty good. I want to say. I'm waiting for it all to come out. By the way, once it's all out, then I could binge watch it on Now TV. That's my plan, because I need to be a cheapskate. Hey, then you got a cab. Was you impressed with their local knowledge? Being that you're a cab. Yeah, I think a lot of guys don't use some guys use GPS, of course. But I think most of the guys I was in a cab with, they don't use GPS. But then I think, to be fair, there's probably places that you just kind of know anyway. Like I was going to from the airport into town, you probably just know that route, or back into the airport, you probably just know that route. So I guess, to be fair, yeah. But even still, like you get some people who use the GPS, and there's some people who don't, and yeah. Okay, it's important Brexit for sure. So the Pakistani equivalent to Artful Dodger. Artful Dodger, is that like the what was it? Please sir, can I have some more? That guy, Oliver Twist. That's the guy, isn't it? I mean, I kind of did, to be fair. Actually, I kind of did. Well, not quite. I don't think he was a crook, but I did meet some homeless kids that I spoke to. But that was sad, man. That was sad. Like I was walking past one of them. It was like a library, and these kids noticed me, and they're saying hello, and I'm saying hello back, and then I just kind of walk past them, and then I go sit down somewhere, and they follow me to where I sat down, and talked to me some more, and he asked if I could have to give him some money, and that's when I kind of realized that they're probably homeless kids, and so I said to him. At first, I said to him, I'm not sure that's a good idea that I should give you any money. And I said to him, where are your parents? And he just went like this, just kind of suggests that they're not around, and I don't know if he meant that they're dead or that they abandoned. I don't know, but I got the impression that he meant they're just not in the picture anymore. And asked him, where'd you sleep? And he just points at the ground. I was like, it's sad. But yeah, so I did give him some money in the end. And it did follow me a little bit down the road, and I was like, kind of like, I don't think I should give you any more. Because I feel like when it comes to these sorts of things, it's not always, like I said before, it's not always a good idea to give money, especially a lot of money, just because I don't want to say like you don't know what they're going to do with it, because that sounds a bit, but it's more like it could end up causing more problems than it solves, I think, sometimes. And to be honest, I probably gave them too much without realizing myself already, which is why they ended up following me down the road for a little bit. But yeah, I had to be like, I'm sorry, I can't give you any more. But yeah, it's tough out there, man. It's tough for a lot of people. Next week, 4 days off. Friday. And I catch up on my movies. Nice. There you go, Big Man 2005. Oh, Maker looks pretty good actually, yeah. Much of Last of Us, Breakfast Classics. This was filmed at Rex. I need to get my hair done. Needs a trim and a color. I haven't seen that in a minute. You're gonna watch some classics or the ones in the comments. Classics. Was there any particular reason you chose that location for a holiday? I just wanted to go somewhere with a culture is different to what I'm used to. So it's been on my mind to go there for a long time now, but finally did it, and it was definitely a different culture. I got what I asked for sure. When it comes to classics, my kids' birthdays is out of the way. Kids take priority. I had about Terran Fenner from about 1970s sitcom Good Times. I saw a bit of the trailer 2-3 years ago. Watched the whole trailer last week. I told you. I get you. Hey, Terran Fenner, is that that's an old film, like 70s, wasn't it? Alright, let me show you guys some pictures now. Because I did take some pictures. So let me put this on my screen so y'all can see. And I don't know why this picture shows up first, because I'm pretty sure this wasn't the first picture I took. But anyway, it's the first picture here. And actually, let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit. There we go. That's about the poverty though. It must have been amazing. Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. It really was. I think including the poverty. I mean, I know it kind of sounds weird to say, but it's to see it firsthand and to kind of experience how things can be in other places. And you know, not to say that, oh, you come back here and be like, oh, I'm so lucky to have it here. I mean, I guess kind of a little bit of that, but also just to know, what just happened there? Okay, I think something just happened. Can you guys still hear me? I think you guys can still hear me. It might be just my, I think there's something with my headphones. Just turned themselves off, so I don't know why. But I think... Okay. My headphones just turn themselves off and won't come back on. I don't know what's going on there. But I think you guys can still hear me, right? I think you guys can still hear me. Cool. But yeah, no, overall, it was just... it was a good experience. It was an eye-opening experience, and yeah. Oh, it's a stellar cast. He's kind of another version of Chucky and Tiffany. But that's what is the Paul Newman and Steve McQueen every night. Oh, okay. Steve McQueen, yeah, Paul Newman. I know them actors. Old school. Well, real old school. Birthday to your kids. Happy birthday. But yeah, this was at Stansted Airport, this picture. This is also at Stansted Airport because every day should start with coffee. So this was a pink latte with 2 shots of espresso in there. That's actually pretty nice. I quite like that actually. This was at Istanbul Airport. So it was a connected flight from Stansted to Istanbul. And of course, had coffee at Istanbul as well. That was a caramel latte that I had at Istanbul Airport. By the way, it's mostly pictures of food. So just so you're forewarned, I mostly just ate and food and drank coffee. That was pretty much my whole trip. But then, yeah, this is at Karachi Airport. So this is after landing and getting through customs. And here's the thing about customs. I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience when you travel, but I swear every time I've traveled places, the people at customs will always make you feel like you've committed some crime somewhere. Do you know what I mean? They make everything you say sound like the oddest thing. Like, they're asking me, like, what's the purpose of my visit? And I'm like, you know, I'm here for a holiday. And this lady was like, you come here for a holiday? Like, it's like the weirdest thing. I'm like, yeah, don't people do that? You know, I'm like, what's going on? You know, the way they just make everything you say sound like just like some crazy, wild answer. And it's like, but yeah, they let me through. So I guess they're just doing their job. I think I had Paul even before. I saw that LJ Simpson Fred Astaire was in it. I was like, dang. Thanks, Rex. It's her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday for then. And then mine at the end of Feb and Ella's March. So 6 all for real. Everyone's getting presents. Well, hopefully. Can't go wrong with food pictures indeed. I think that was OJ's first movie role. OJ was in I forget what he was in, but he's in some movie that I saw. Loaded Weapon? No. This is the cab ride from the airport to the hotel. Took a video of the high street. It's not. It was dark, so you can't really see too well. But yeah. The exchange rate is very favorable if you're coming from Britain, for sure. I think if you live there, it's different, of course. But yeah, coming from the UK, the exchange rate is very favorable. This is me after I checked into the hotel. I just took a picture on the street. So this at the back, I don't know if you can see me pointing to it with the mouse, but that's a local bus. I didn't get on one of these because I didn't know what a bus route was, and I didn't want to end up somewhere that I couldn't get back from. So, but I did see a few of these around. But they do have buses that look like the buses, like the red buses that we have over here. They do have buses like that, but I think you only really see those in the more kind of city areas and, you know, posher areas and stuff like that. But these are the buses you might see in the more sort of rural places. So I saw these quite a lot. You know, my daughter's birthday is on the same. It was on the first day of spring, and yours is at the end of the next month. And mine is during the holidays. I would have been buying some serious gadgets and designer clover, taking advantage of the exchange rate. You know, I didn't do that, but yeah, you could. You really could. Like, I didn't check what the prices for those specific things were, but I would say even, yeah, things are definitely cheaper. Like the average price for stuff over there is definitely cheaper than the average price for things over here. So yeah, you get stuff mad cheap. Like if you're looking for like trainers and stuff like that, like there's plenty. You could get Nikes and all that sort of stuff, and there's places that sell them, you know. But I didn't check the prices to be fair, but I'd imagine you get those proper cheap as well, since everything else seems to be a lot cheaper over there, or most things. I think this was the first thing I ate actually when I got there, which was I'm not sure what this was actually, but it was nice anyway. Release a stone heavier. Mine is at the end of February. Oh, this is in March. Yeah, you're right, Max. This is in Capricorn 1. Around about that time. So all your birthdays are soon then, by the sounds of it. In like the next like few months or something. So this is what it was. That's what it was making. I can't remember what I'm not sure what it was. So I asked for a bun kebab, but I don't think that's what that is. It's a bun with something in it, but it was nice still. Can't be mad. It was nice. Around them prices when it comes to those flea markets and pop shops, you can make some bargains. Oh no, for sure. For sure. But it's just the things are just so much cheaper just there in general. Like, I think this was something like 100 rupees or something like that, which is 50p. You know what I mean? It's like 50p or so. It's mad. And like most times I got coffee, it was like 150 rupees. It's like what, 70p, something like that. So yeah, for a whole cup of coffee, 70p. And they put chocolate, milk. You know what I mean? It's a proper cup of coffee. Not some. It's a proper cup of coffee, and you pay like 70p for it. Over here, they'll charge you at least like £1.50 or something like that. So this is an example of how mad the traffic can be. It's like you just see like motorbikes everywhere, different, just coming out of corners. Traffic there could be crazy. Don't worry, I'm not expecting anything expensive from you. Just my Turkish delight. You know, I couldn't get the Turkish delight on the way back because like the initial flight was delayed. So by the time it landed in Istanbul, I had like 40 minutes to get to the next flight. So I was pretty much just running through the airport, you know, to get to the next flight. Just about call it in time. So unfortunately. That's that bus again. So yeah, I saw through these buses. Like the roads here in Hull, to be fair. What, mash up and busy. But yeah, this I don't know if you can see it, but there's a guy in the back, no helmet on. I got some other pictures where you might see it clearer, but yeah, motorbikes, no helmets. See a lot of that. This was the first coffee I had there. That was a nice coffee. That was a nice coffee. Like, it was like, you can see like the chocolate on the sides there. There's some milk. That was a nice coffee. And when I asked the guy like what type of coffee it was, he was like, Nescafe? It was a regular coffee. But yeah, they put chocolate in it, they put some milk in it, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice. So whatever they did, I ain't mad at it. And that was probably the best coffee I had there. I mean, the coffee was fine for the most part, but I feel like that was maybe because it was the first. I don't know, but yeah, it was, in my mind at least, it felt like it was the best one I had. And I like how, you know, there's a clear separation from like the coffee and the milk. They did a good job with this one. Only 150 rupees, like 70p for this. 70p, bruh. Could have been he was in, I don't know how many episodes he was in though. I want to travel this year for sure. I haven't decided on the destination yet. I definitely should. I definitely recommend traveling. I want to travel more. I want to travel to at least 3 different cities this year. So I need to start planning my next one soon, really. But yeah, I want to travel more. So hopefully, God willing, it be Amsterdam next. But yeah, so I need to start preparing for that. Being reduced to drinking Nescafe myself. This cost of living is hitting. Hey, you know what? If you could, I know it's tough out there, but if you can afford a little chocolate sauce, a little bit of milk, I'm just saying, make that Nescafe real good. Have you got plans to travel? I had everything has doubled in price. Hey, for real. Can't drink milk. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Just chocolate sauce then. Actually, chocolate's probably made with milk, so yeah, maybe not. This was a good meal. I feel like this was maybe one of the best meals I had there. So this is the Karachi bun kebab. It's like beef, onions. I don't know if you can see from this picture, but there's like 3 buns. And there was like a raspberry drink in the back there. Had a tomato sauce just on the side there, and I can't remember what this was called, but that's quite nice as well. And that's just a picture from the inside to the outside of the cafe, so you can see like the flames and stuff where they do the cooking on the outside. And yeah, a lot of places don't have doors. Like a lot of the shops it was near my near the hotel, and a lot of shops are like this. They don't have doors. They just like open up, and it's just like this. Oh, by the way, you gotta watch out for flies there. So you get a lot of flies around, so be careful. You could keep swatting flies away. So a bit more together. I want to go to a couple of states first. Nice. If I drink over a pint of milk, I'm in trouble. Oof, yeah. Gotta watch that there. Intolerance levels. And I've spent 50 quid alone on electric this week. Oof. States. This is a better picture. So that's like the hot sauce in the left side here. And this thing, I don't know if you can see it. It's probably not a good picture. I've got a better picture later on, but this thing is called the pizza fries. And that was so good. That wasn't that. I'll show you. I've got a better picture later on, but yeah. Look at this. Let's see it a bit better now. It's called pizza fries. It's like you take pizza toppings, right? But instead of putting them on a pizza base, you put it on fries, and that's what it is, pizza fries, and it was so good. That was so good. That's a better picture there. So you like the cheese and the sauces and the jalapenos and stuff. Go too poor. We have to go camping in the summer. Hey, it's something though. It's something. If you can get away from your usual surroundings for a little bit, it's something. To Nevada, I haven't been there since I was a kid. Salem, Massachusetts, Alaska, Hawaii, and Colorado. But you will have loads of fun camping with family. I need those pizza fries. Hey, it's so good. I don't know if anywhere does them over here. Like, I don't believe I've seen them anywhere, but I imagine I would have to somewhat assume somewhere must sell them, right? Somewhere must sell them. You know what I mean? It feels like somewhere must sell them. I don't believe I've seen them anywhere. I don't know where, but I feel like somewhere must sell these because, mate, I'm telling you, they're so good, man. They're so good. Yes, that is my thing. Three campaign. Nice story to get from it all. These fries looks like dirty fries to me. Dirty fries. Is that like the name of? Is that like the name of the fries, or do you mean they actually just look dirty? Like, is that the name of like a certain type of fries? That's a better picture of the bun kebab, but yeah, that was nice. That was recommended to me by a friend of mine that I tried this, and I did, and yeah, I could recommend that now. And that's the aftermath, because I ate it all. I ate it all, and it was good. When I camped in back in the day, I really enjoyed it. Getting close to nature. That's my second coffee that I had there. This one was alright. Same sort of thing, chocolate sauce, milk, you know. I think I put powder, yeah, I put powder on this one. There's a better picture of it. It was alright. It was alright. Well, I feel like I like the first one better, but this was alright still. And he's a food. She looks at it. Well, yeah. Nah, there's lots of. I mean, these are like local places so far. I mean, I did go to some fancy places as well, but these are just like the local places. And yeah, man. Here's the thing. This is something that I've known for a while, and I've heard other people say this as well. So I know I'm not the only one. Dirtiest kitchens sell the best food. You know what I mean? The dirtiest kitchens sell the best food. Like, that's something that I believe is true in London. I believe it's true just about anywhere in the world. The dirtiest kitchens sell the best food. Of course, I ain't talking about being disgusting, right? You know, I ain't talking about disgusting places, but dirtiest kitchens sell the best food. So, like, yeah, these were like local places, pretty much in the slums of Karachi, and they're good food, good coffee, and woof. So yeah, this is one of the stray dogs. There's a lot of stray dogs out there. A lot of stray dogs, a lot of stray cats. Some people apparently have dogs as pets, I guess, but maybe not many. So yeah, you see a lot of stray dogs, a lot of stray cats on the streets, and they just be around somewhere, or like this one, just on a mat, just sleeping, or I think just woke up maybe. Yeah, let me see. I want to go either by myself, with a group, or a chick, so I can actually enjoy it. If I'm with a girl or alone, I can be butt naked in a hotel room. Brack's trying to get some of that boing chicka wow wow. I need to do a trip to Canada at some point. They'll just so expensive. Canada has the Garden of England. Apparently, it doesn't look much like a garden in. And I'll always have my strap in me. I'll always check his gun laws when going other states. So, would you not travel to another state if they won't let you bring a gun? Because I don't know, you might have trouble traveling abroad if you're gonna be like that. I'm just saying. You might have trouble traveling outside the country if you won't travel without your gun. I think they might have something to say about that at the airport. Certainly, if they manage even to get to customs, there might be an issue. 7 years, didn't do the garden, but did do the cliffs of Dover. Nobody better run up on Brax. Oh, he might start busting. Sam, you live in Ken. Busting them shots. Yeah, this is like one of the, well, is the sort of road near where my hotel was. And trying to take a picture of the bus in the background, really. But yeah, you could see like some of the, I mean, I don't know if these are abandoned vehicles, but they don't look they're in any kind of use. Yeah. Because anti-gun laws are the ones in blue in the northeast. I live on the outskirts of Kent and Welling. Yeah, I know Welling. Yeah, I lived in a small town called Deal. Elliot is a Kent boy. Deal. I think I know Deal as well, actually. So this is a weird picture because it looks like I was taking a picture of some random piece of rubbish, and I guess technically, but I was actually trying to take a picture of the birds, but I couldn't get too close to the birds because they'll fly away, so you can't really see them too clearly. But there are some birds in this picture that I was trying to take a picture of, and it just happened to be landed near some trash site. So yeah. Can I ask you a controversial question? Oof, I mean, you could ask, but depending on how controversial it is, I can't promise I'd answer. Or I might even have an answer, but yeah, you could ask. Oh, goats as well, yeah. So you see a lot of goats around. A lot of goats, a lot of sheep. I've got a picture of sheep somewhere as well. I'm not originally from Kent. I'm a South Londoner. South. I like controversy. Or Sam likes controversy. Ooh. Did it smell over there? No. I mean, I'm sure there's smells, right? But not particularly. I wouldn't say I notice any specific. I mean, I guess the pollution there is probably worse than it is in London, just because most people drive motorized cars. You don't really get electric cars, and you know the environmental rules that we have over here. So the air is probably more polluted in general. But I wouldn't say I notice any kind of specific smell. It'll just be more like as you're walking through the streets. Yeah, you're gonna get like car fumes and stuff like that. In your face, you get a lot of that. Exhaust and from the cars and the motorbikes and things. But nah, I wouldn't say there was any. I mean, of course, things that stink, and things that smell nice. Of course, like if you're near like a piece of shit or something, you're gonna smell it, right? But yeah, I wouldn't say in general there's like a certain smell that I just know it. Nah. Not that I notice anyway. But then I guess to be fair, I wasn't really trying to sniff out anything. So, but yeah, no, I don't notice anything like that. Yeah, they don't use deodorant. I mean, I guess it depends on who you're speaking to, really. I mean, yeah, I'm sure like in terms of like poorer places, it's probably not the biggest concern if you're out in the streets or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, you can buy deodorant and shower gels and cleaning products and all sorts of stuff. There are shops that sell them, so somebody's using them if they're selling them, right? I think the thing though is that when you hear about different countries or different parts of the world, especially when you hear negative things about different parts of the world, it's not to say that it's definitely not true or whatever, but I do feel like sometimes you kind of have to take it with a pinch of salt. Sometimes people say things out of something they've heard, out of a general kind of ignorance or something they saw on TV or something like that, and they don't necessarily know for themselves. I mean, I can tell you firsthand as someone who's been there. Of course, you're gonna have people who are dirty. You're gonna have people who aren't dirty. You know what I mean? That's just like anywhere you go, right? But yeah, certainly I wouldn't say like there's like a sweaty, dirty kind of smell when you go into places. You smell food when you go into a restaurant, right? Or one of the cafes. Of course, you smell that. But yeah, I don't notice any kind of like I mean, look, I'm sure there's people out there that don't watch very regularly. I wouldn't say that's not untrue, but as a general thing, I reckon most people probably do wash themselves, at least to the point of not being noticeably stinky anyway. So yeah. Not controversial. I'm disappointed, Jake. Not controversial after Sam. Jake's gotta do better. Gotta do better. So the situation must have been dodgy. I mean, yeah, there was mess around, of course, but in all honesty, like even that picture that I took with the birds with all the crap around, like I see worse in London. You know what I mean? I see worse than that in London. I'll say in general, like, yeah, you see, of course, you get animals that, you know, poop on the streets. And like I said, there's a lot of stray dogs and stray cats and things like that. So yeah, you do have animals that poop on the streets that doesn't always get cleaned up, especially like in the poorer areas. But yeah, I mean, it's not like you can't walk through the streets. You know what I mean? I was walking through the streets just fine. I was walking through the streets just fine. It's plenty fine. So yeah. Ooh, that went too fast. My bad, my bad. So just kind of skipped a bit on that. Let me try and catch my chat a little bit. Oh, by the way, this is a local butcher. So yeah, there are parts of the world where they will kill the meat fresh for you. So this was a local butcher. That's why all these chickens are in this cage here. It was actually, you know, I didn't take a picture of the butchers itself, but I got a picture of the cage. But yeah, that's how it's done there. You get fresh meat. You get very fresh meat when you go to the butchers. So yeah. In fact, what's this one? Yeah, there, the rooster as well. Got a rooster walking around. Controversial. Ethnic people on some other ish and the stay in time. And your vehicle is also like your house you put out on a mofo trying to steal your car or truck. Even if they don't feel like use public transport, and some of those people stink. Well, that is, yeah. Especially that you get the summer times, you got people that armpits up, like, oh, gee, ah. And you was exposed to that shit, pun intended. Don't tell me about. I need a gas phones when I commute sometimes. Be right back. As for abroad, 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to bring a weapon, particularly a gun, since guns are banned from most citizens, etc. Yeah, they wouldn't let you put it in your carry-on for sure. I'm from the south. I'm used to flies. You'll be right there then. Like me, I don't want to see. I like me. I don't want to see animals die. Yeah, just turn your eyes in it. Just like, I want that one. It's fine, it's fine. Regular flies, false flies, both flies, flies, etc. I think it's regular flies that they had there. I mean, I didn't notice. Oh, this is of the TV, by the way. Turns out the TV was working. I remember I was telling you something, the TV wasn't working, but it turns out it was working. Maybe just didn't know how to turn it on, but yeah. And I found this guy with a very, very British voice.
Reducing visibility, poor air quality on top of that as well. For the northeast of India, for Bangladesh, Bhutan and Nepal, it looks generally dry. 20 degrees there in Kathmandu.
So she's in public transport, for sure. For sure.
Dhaka, dry, with temperatures up to 30 degrees.
Dodgy plugs. Yeah, you know, that could have been why it wasn't working. Maybe the plug was too loose. Because even a 2-pin plug, right? You plug it in and it's so loose. It's so, and to be fair, I know that's not just Pakistan, because like I've used those 2-pin plugs before and they're always loose. I don't know why it is. I don't know why they make the socket larger than the plug. I mean, it works, right? You can still charge your phone, do what you need to do. It works, but it's so loose. I don't know why people use these 2-pin plugs and make it so that the socket is larger than the actual plug. So when you plug it in, it's just like you have to kind of balance it, you know, kind of balance it a little bit. And it's like, okay, it works, but it's just loose. Just get it at a right angle or something. Oh, so this is a local mosque where I went to for Fridays. So here's the thing. People, oh yeah, that'd be it. That's the best answer for everything. People are assholes. So here's the thing about the mosques there. So like, if you go to mosques in the UK, and I guess pretty much most places in the world, it is tradition that you sit on the floor. Like how you can see, like these guys sit on the floor with their legs crossed, right? That's kind of tradition in most in mosques in general, right? Even over here, it's kind of tradition in mosques. You sit on the floor with your legs crossed. The thing is that if you are maybe a taller adult like myself, it can be difficult to sit with your legs crossed for a long period of time. So usually you might just like kind of spread your legs out a bit, and it's not a problem because like, especially if there's plenty of space around, people don't mind if you kind of spread your legs out a bit. It's not an issue. There's plenty of space. It's cool, right? It seems, at least on my one experience over in Karachi, that even if there is plenty of space, they still don't like you sitting with your legs out. It's not, you cross your legs. So yeah, I kind of sat there with my legs crossed. It felt like forever. It just felt like forever. I'm like, but there's space though. But there's space. But yeah, it was well, like I said, I went for a different culture. I got a different culture. More goats. And that's the sheep. That is the sheep that I found. So I'm pretty sure that I read somewhere that if you shear a sheep, they are very like dark, you know, underneath. So I think that's just like they sheared the face but didn't shear the rest of its body. That's why I was in my side. There you go. Like, no, it's too much. Too much. I can't do this. Can't do this. This was a cab ride. I can't remember where I was going to. I think, was this to the, I don't remember, but this was one of the cab rides I had. I had a lot of cab rides there. They're mostly pretty cool, but oh yeah, look at this. See if you can spot the issue here. See if you can spot the problem here. So yeah, like it's rare you get inside a cab and they actually have working seat belts. It's rare you get inside a cab and the seat belts actually either, like the first cab I had a seat belt and nowhere to plug it into. Again, this cab, they got a seat belt to plug in, but it's mad loose. You get into other cabs, there's just no seat belt at all. I think I had one cab ride where the seat belt actually worked. Like, it actually worked. But yeah, you don't have to wear seat belts out there because it's so basically what you, yeah, pretty much. Like the safety rules, I mean, I'm sure they have a system because clearly everybody seems to know what's going on, right? But yeah, like for somebody coming from Britain, it's mad. It's mad. Don't gotta wear helmets. Don't have to wear seatbelts. It's mad. Cold on it, and I'm screwed. Oof. Yeah, definitely not stay at that 1-star hotel that I was in. Then, if you ever do go, make sure you get a proper hotel with heating. Oh, this is another thing. So yeah, so I'd say you don't have to wear helmets, but you see this a lot as well, where women tend to side saddle on motorbikes. So like, you can see here, she's actually sitting to the side on a motorbike, and that's something that you see quite common. Like you do occasionally see some women sitting, you know, like forward, but most of the time you'll see a woman sitting on the back of a motorbike side saddling. And I remember I saw one woman, she was side saddling not even holding onto the bike, just on a mobile phone. While this guy's riding a motorbike. I'm like, okay. But yeah, safety regulations are practically non-existent. Oh, so these are donkeys, by the way. Like I was saying, yeah, you do see donkeys, just like donkeys and carts being pulled. They got motorbikes, they got cars, all that sort of stuff, but you still will see donkeys and carts being pulled. Yeah, a lot braver now. It's just, yeah, like, I mean, I didn't see a single accident while I was there. And even that, as mad as the traffic got and looks to me, like, it does feel at least everybody knows what they're doing in terms of how to drive and blah blah blah, you know, that kind of stuff. So I guess I feel like there is a system. For me, I can't figure out what that system is, you know. But it must be a system, because like I didn't see a single accident. I mean, of course, I'm sure accidents happen like with any place, right? But I didn't see a single accident. I didn't see any kind of near crashes or anything. Even though people drive up mad close to you, like way closer than you might do people might do over here. And it's like, that's just normal. It's just normal. So it's like, I guess everybody kind of knows what the rules are, what the system is, how to drive, and they just get on with it. Oh, so this is Clifton Beach. This one I got to Clifton Beach. I have to walk carefully because I don't want to get sand in my shoes. I was trying to do like a cool like upshot. That's a photo of the sea. Another photo of the sea. Another photo of the sea. What photos of the sea? What's with stunning? Yeah, no, for sure. Like when the way the light just hits it, you got the clouds and yeah. There's a guy with a camel. I think I got a couple of pictures of the camel. And it's my camel ride. I showed this one already, but yeah. Let's go for that low. I don't get to go to the beach very often, but yeah, it's nice when you do. Yeah, and this is the buggy ride. He actually let me drive it. He let me drive the buggy, which was really cool. Couldn't go too fast though, because I ain't even trying to crash nothing. But yeah, it was pretty cool to drive the buggy. Look at this. I fly halfway around the world just to be in South London. What's that about? Drive all the way halfway around the world. And I'm in South London. I'm telling you that South London is its own thing. Like I'm pretty convinced of that now. South London is worldwide. Like everywhere you go in the world, there's a South London there. South London just represents, no matter where whether you're in London, whether you're in Karachi, South London represents, like, everywhere you go, you're in South London. That's how it is. That's just like, that's the rules, I think, I guess. There's some street. So this is, I think, one of the more posher areas. I mean, houses around here looks like, well, looks a lot nicer than places where I was staying. So yeah, I think this is one of the more posher areas. This was near the beach. I don't want to take a picture of the houses specifically just because, you know, that's somebody's house, but these were like nearby the beach. You see like these real nice looking houses and they had these trees outside. That's awesome, for sure. Could be green. And yeah, Nando's. Nando's represents. I don't go inside this Nando's, but yeah, they got that there too. Beautiful. Oh yeah, stray cats. So yeah, stray dogs, stray cats. You see a lot of this. And this was actually near the beach as well, so it's like you got these like nice looking houses and not that far along. Yeah, stray cats in a pile of rubble. And yeah, food, because I ate a lot. So this was a ice cream and a brownie. That was really nice. That was real nice. The brownie was warm, so like the ice cream kind of melts while you're eating it, and it was like, oof. That was a good one. Put the chocolate sauce in it as well. Yeah, I ate. That was a coffee, but I think I just put more milk in this coffee than the other ones, so it's mostly white, but yeah, it was alright. Better than sex. Well. Wait, we're talking about oh wait, yeah, the chocolate, not the coffee, I guess, or maybe the coffee too. Not this coffee. I mean, this coffee was alright, but maybe not that good. It was alright. Maybe too much milk though. So this was I'm actually not sure what this was because I thought it was bread. It looked like they were making bread, and I asked for one, but when I got it, it's not bread. It's some kind of paste. I don't know if pastry is the right word, but I mean, it was nice. Don't get me wrong, I liked it. But yeah, it wasn't bread. It was something else. Some kind of maybe like halfway between pastry and bread, I think. But yeah, it was quite nice still. It's quite nice. And it has you got like a fried egg with it. So this was actually, what was this? I can't remember. I think this was the one of the museums. Yeah, this was the museum. So they have this museum. Oh, let me show you the money actually. So they have a museum where, if I understood correctly, the guy that they have on their money, which is this guy here, the house that he used to live on, they turned it into a museum, and that's a museum. That's if I've understood it correctly. That seemed to be what they were saying. I mean, this particular gentleman who was a tour guide, he did a great job. He didn't speak English particularly well, so I'm sure I didn't understand everything he was saying. But like I said, they speak better English than I speak Urdu, so I'm not mad. I'm not complaining. But bottom line is, he didn't speak English particularly well, so I did struggle to understand some stuff. But yeah, if I got it correctly, then I think that's the guy that they have on their money. And his house got turned into a museum. They won't let you take pictures inside the house. But yeah, the tour guide took a few pictures of me by the cars and some other places outside. Did they have any British tourists? I was under the impression that Karachi does have a lot of tourists. At least that's what I read somewhere. But I personally didn't see any. Now, maybe that's because of the time that I went. Maybe more tourists go at different times of the year. Maybe. But I'd have to assume that they do get tourists. Because, I mean, they have museums. They have, attractions and things like that. So I imagine they do get tourists. But maybe just not at that particular time of the year that I went. In fact, the whole time I was there, I would say that I saw no black people. No, I was probably the only black person in the country at that time, if ever, right? I did see, I want to say 4 white people, but one of them I'm not entirely sure on, because it was from a distance, and it could have just been a really light-skinned Pakistani woman, but from where I was, she looked white. But I wasn't close enough to tell for sure, because one thing I remember reading or hearing somewhere is that skin lightening is quite big in that part of the world, like in that sort of South Asian regions. I don't want to say that's what she was, because I don't know, I didn't speak to her, but it's a possibility. It could have been that, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw 3 confirmed white people. 2 of them were at the airport. One of them was at the fancy hotel that you'll see pictures of that in a moment. I went to this fancy hotel to meet somebody, and I saw one white person there. Looked like he was on a business meeting of some kind. I don't know. I don't speak to him, but yeah, so yeah, people do travel there. People do travel there, but maybe just not many, at least not many during this particular time of year. Or at least that's the impression I got. I could be wrong. Maybe they're just all in the cool places that I didn't go to. Maybe they did their research better and did book a 1-star hotel in the middle of the slums. Maybe. So yeah, there's more pictures of me in the cars. And then from outside the building. And so around the compound. And this was near the Ferrer Hall, which I think is a library, but I'm not sure because couldn't go inside because they're doing renovations on it. But it looks like from where I stood, it looked like it was a library. But yeah, that's where I met. That's actually near where I met those 2 kids that. Those 2 homeless kids who were like, you know, telling me that their parents weren't around and they sleep on the streets. That's near there. Yeah, it is. Those men like white women a lot. I know because I used to get a lot of messages from men from that part of the world. Yeah, I mean the whole skin lightening thing. It's crazy. Like a lot of it's to do with. I mean, yeah, there's that, but I know a lot of it's to do with things like how whiteness is viewed. I mean, it goes deep, like going into that psychology and portrayal of lighter skinned people versus darker skinned people, and on me, you know, it gets deep. Like it happens not just, of course, there, it happens in a lot of places, but from my understanding, granted very limited understanding, yeah, in South Asian regions, it's a pretty big deal. Like there was I heard about, I think it was an Indian actress, I can't remember her name, but I've heard about an Indian actress in maybe the last few months that got some backlash because she was promoting the skin lightening cream, and people were like, nah, that's not cool to do that, man. It's not cool to do that. But she was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I should have known. I should have known better. Oh, yeah, pictures of flowers, because, you know, I like flowers now, I guess, so I saw pictures of flowers. You tell me that, I'm not talking to you. They should respect their own women. Yeah, no, for sure. It's I mean, it's I mean, I don't know if like even respect is like the right word to use, because like from, I mean, again, very limited understanding, but I've seen sort of, you know, documentaries on, you know, not documentaries, but I guess video. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've seen sort of things on like people in like black communities, like in America and stuff like that, where they've gone the skin lightening route, and it's just so deep into like people's psychologies and like being raised to believe that they're not beautiful, and the only way they could be desired is they, you know what I mean? That sort of, it's mad how deep it goes. But yeah, like I don't know if it's like a choice somebody just makes, like I'm going to like white. I don't know if it's like that. I mean, maybe it is on some level, but it's definitely something that just goes deep into like people's psyches, like, you know, how they're raised and the types of images and how they're treated and versus how other people are treated, and but it's a mad thing. It really is. But yeah. But yeah, you get those ones who just like, it's also kind of insulting, also that they want you because of your skin. No, thank you. No, for sure, because at that point, regardless of the reason, it's less about you and more about what they think you represent to them or how they think you make them look. You know what I mean? It's less about whether they like you, the person, and becomes more about like what they believe you being with you does for them on a social level, you know. And yeah, I know there's all kinds of psychological things in that, but yeah, it's like nah. Nah, ain't nothing you want to be a part of. Yeah, there's a picture near the hall. There's some people playing cricket nearby. And some more stray dogs. I'm not sure if one of them was barking at me, but one of them was definitely barking. So I'm sure once they get to know me, they're like me. Man, you ain't nothing like the white women on TV. I'm done. I'm through. I think I also got a few pictures of these dogs. Yeah, there we go. None of them came out too great though. Another bus. Buses and food. I think that's most things I took pictures of. Oh, and that's a KFC. I went there on my last day, but I passed out when I was doing it on a cab trip. And more traffic. More traffic videos. I drive a cab. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I was telling the guy that I drive a cab, but I don't know if you noticed this. I drive a cab. If so, I could pause at the right moment. Yeah. 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 There we go. So yeah, this is what I mean about how you just see people on a bike. You got like one at the back, one in the middle, the driver, and a kid right on the front. So yeah, that's a pretty common thing. You see like 3-4 people on a motorbike, and it's not even a big motorbike. It really isn't. So it's like a regular sized motorbike. And yeah, you just see people just like sitting on, hanging up like that. It's like that's a common thing. It's scary for sure, but bruh, that's and look, none of them wearing helmets. None of them are wearing helmets. I was like, yeah, safety regulations. What's that? What's that? If it fits. If it fits. Yeah, more flowers. It's back at the hall again. Yeah, still playing cricket. And more traffic. That was a coffee I had at the Marriott Hotel. That was a latte. And honestly, too much milk. Too much milk. It was the most expensive coffee I had there. And probably the worst coffee I had there. Well, no, it wasn't. No, the worst coffee. Not the worst drink, but the worst coffee. It was the worst coffee. But yeah, this was a Marriott Hotel. So it's like one of the posher parts. Like a cup of warm milk. That's probably what it was. Like they probably just put 2 coffee grounds in there and be like, yeah, it's coffee. It was way too milky for me. Yeah, that's my friend out there. Made me a little friend. Well, kind of knew it beforehand, but still. That was a car in a hotel. That's just some of the scenery around the hotel. This is a restaurant we went to called Xander's. And I had me a burger, chips, came with some sauce. Yeah, so like, yeah. Now we met up. She's pretty cool. She paid for my cab ride and paid for my meal. So she's my friend. If you pay for my food, you're my friend. Like, that's how that works. Like anybody who, well, I mean, you can be my friend without paying for my food. You're my best friend if you pay for my food. Let me put it that way. If you pay for my food, you're my best friend. That's how I look at it. So yeah, she paid for my food and a cab ride. She's a good friend. Friend or friend. You know what? So here's the thing about that. We actually met on one of these sort of, I guess you could say like matchmaking, dating type app things. And this was at a time when I was a bit more in the mind of, you know, trying to find a partner and that kind of thing. Now, if memory serves, and to be fair, this is quite a while ago now, so I might be misremembering a little bit. But if memory serves, I think she messaged me first, and was kind of talking, and I was kind of like, this was maybe a few years. It's like at the beginning of like lockdown, like just before maybe like a week or so before lockdown kicked in. So I'm kind of thinking, I don't know about long distance relationships for one thing. I mean, I guess I'm not totally against the idea of doing it, but it's also like, I don't know, do I really want to do that? So I'm kind of like that. Plus, you know, we're about to go into lockdown, and who knows how long that's gonna last, right? So we talked a little bit online, and we got along okay, but I wasn't really trying to pursue it just because I just kind of felt like I'm not sure that's a good idea. Certainly not right now. But yeah, we got along okay, and ended up following each other on like Instagram, so we kind of kept in contact that way. And yeah, she's getting married, so there's nothing happening there. So it's not like that. But I was like, you know what? It's like, yeah, I wanted to go to Pakistan for a while. I kind of know somebody out there-ish a little bit. And even if, you know, I don't know anybody there, it's kind of cool to go to a place we don't know anybody. But yeah, we met up, talked a little bit, and I was like, it's cool. She bought me food. Oh, she bought me this as well. It's called a shawl. Can't really see it too well because it's all folded up, but it's really long, goes on your neck. It's called a shawl. I couldn't even get any action. Nah, I wasn't going there for that. Not for real. I really wasn't going there for that. But yeah, I did get this, so it's pretty cool. I didn't get any action, but I did get a shawl. I did get a shawl, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this food was nice though, and that drink, that was like a strawberry, I can't remember what to call it, strawberry shake something? I can't remember, but it was nice. Like a milkshake type drink. Oh, we're happy just the food. Oh, I've got plenty of food. And the thing is, like, especially like for me coming with British money, it's easy for me to just pay for stuff. But she was like, no. I'll pay for you. I was like, all right, cool. But I think to be fair, I mean, I don't know how much money she earns out there, but she's a teacher. And from what I can gather without actually asking directly, I'm somewhat assuming she probably makes more money than the average Pakistani. I don't know about being rich levels, probably not, maybe not there as a teacher, but I'm guessing she probably makes, you know, a bit more than say the average person, because like Karachi, for example, is a very cash. Oh, this is a picture of me in my shawl, by the way. Karachi is a very kind of cash heavy society. Like I mean, there are places you can use your credit card, but for the most part it is cash only. Very, very few places would take credit card. But she was telling me that she just likes to use her card, like doesn't like to pay cash and use it as little as possible. So knowing that, I'm guessing like she probably stays around the more posher areas where you can just use your card. And if that's the case, I'm assuming she probably earns a bit more than the average Pakistani person, but that's a guess. I didn't ask her directly. I kind of guessed that just from what she was saying. But even still, whether she's rich or poor, anybody paying for my food is my best friend. So yeah, that's how that works. That's how that works. If you want to be my best friend, pay for my food. That's just it. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man. That's my problem. Easy one of them, right? Especially when it's good food. You know what I mean? It's not some crappy whatever. Like, it's good food, man. So this is on the last day, on the morning of the last day. I had what it's called what's it called? A Kashmiri chai, a Kashmiri chai. Oh, I forget what it's called. But yeah, it's like a milk-based drink. It was okay, but it had these bits in it, and the bits weren't horrible or anything, but they just felt weird. You know, they kind of just felt a bit weird. And overall, I mean, I wouldn't say I'll never have it again, but I probably would opt for something else given a choice. You know what I mean? It's like that. It definitely wasn't a horrible drink, but because I mean, it tasted fine, right? Tasted fine. It just kind of felt weird with the bits so yeah, that was on the last day. And I don't know if you know this place, but they have this thing in Karachi. It's called KFC. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, because I'm not sure they have them over here. But I think in this case, KFC stands for Karachi Fried Chicken. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, this is a proper KFC they have over there. And that burger is fat, though. I don't know if you can tell from the picture, but that was a fat burger. That was a fat burger. Like, I mean, I'd have to do a side-by-side comparison to know for sure, but I felt like it was definitely bigger than the burgers you get in London. It was a fat, and it filled me up. I was filled up for the longest time after eating that. Like, I mean, I did eat afterwards because, you know, of course, but I was filled up for the longest time. I was like, mate, like I mean, I had like, oh, that's the aftermath of that. So I did have like Dunkin' Donuts as well afterwards, but still, like, I could have been fine without these. Like, I was so filled up after that burger. Like, when I was eating these donuts, I was practically forcing them in my mouth. I was so full. This drink was really nice though. This wasn't from Dunkin' Donuts, but it was like in the other shopping mall, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts bit, and next to Dunkin' Donuts was like this juice bar. So I got this from the juice bar, and I got this from Dunkin' Donuts. And I just sat down with them, it was really nice, like freshly squeezed oranges, I think it was, or not even oranges, like tangerine. I don't even know what it was, but some kind of orange type fruit. What donuts are they? I can't remember. I think this was the one with the smiley face was like a strawberry filled donut. This one was an Oreo donut. It has an Oreo cookie in the middle. This one I can't remember. I think it was like coffee something. I don't remember, but it was alright. It was alright. This one was my favorite though. That was a nice one. The smiley face one. That was my favorite one. But this one I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a coffee flavored something or other. But yeah, that was Oreo crumble, Oreo, yeah, that. And this is when I was going back to the airport, so I got I think it's called a tuk-ding, or a tuk-dek. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a free-wheeled motor car that you sit in, and this is the guy that took me back to the airport. And that was a better picture of the birds that I was trying to take a picture of earlier, but still probably not a really good picture either, but just slightly better than the one before. I'm not sure what type of bird it was, but yeah, I was trying to take a picture of it, but couldn't get too close. And more pictures of the bird that I couldn't get a picture of. Not really. So this might have been the thing that put a downer on the whole trip. So they have a McDonald's there, but they have McDonald's in Karachi, I should say, but in particular there was a McDonald's at the airport, right? And because I was at the airport early, and the reason why I went to the airport early is because to get, like I said before, I couldn't book my own cabs. I have to ask someone to book them for me. And the guy who books the cabs for you at the hotel may or may not be there at times. You know what I mean? So it's another reason why I'd book a nicer hotel if I was to go again, because a nicer hotel will probably have more people who can book cabs for you that are there at all times of the day. Whereas this one, I had one guy or one or two guys that can do it, and either they're there or they're not. So good luck, right? So I ended up going to the airport early just to make sure I can get there rather than going later, finding out he's not there and then missing my flight. You know what I mean? Anyway, while I was waiting at the airport, yes, I went to the McDonald's there and I got this. This is called a Cardoma tea. If I remember, Cardoma or Cardinoma, I might be saying it wrong. And I had this, and it was fine. It tasted okay. Nothing wrong with it there. But I believe this is what made me a little bit ill. This made me a little bit ill. Maybe more than just a little bit, but I think it is what made me ill. From the timing of when I started to feel it off, you know, and kind of tracing my steps back, it wasn't the only thing I had in that time period, but because the only other thing I had was I think it was a 7-Up. And I just feel like it's unlike, and it's a bottled 7-Up, you know. So I think it's like it's unlikely the 7-Up did it. I feel like it was more likely this Merc tea that I had that caused me to get a little bit ill. I could be wrong, of course. It could be something else. Maybe something I had earlier that lay dormant or whatever. That's always possible. But from the way I'm working it out, yeah. So I would say, yeah, food was fine, drinks were fine, but maybe don't have anything from McDonald's if you ever go Karachi. Just avoid the McDonald's if you can. It looks weird, but you know, it did taste okay. Like as far as the taste goes, it was fine. But it may have done something a little bit off. Sometimes things that taste okay aren't okay, and this might be just one of them. But I was reading about Cardoma tea afterwards, well, just a little while ago actually, and perhaps I should have done my research again, because apparently Cardoma tea, actually let me just make sure it is called Cardoma tea, because I might be saying it wrong. Yeah, I'm saying it wrong. So it's cardamom tea, excuse me. It's called cardamom tea. And apparently cardamom tea is used as a digestive aid. So, you know, if you have problem with that digestive system, you might have something like cardamom tea to help with that. And maybe it works just a little bit too well. You know what I mean? Maybe it works just a little bit too well. So, yeah, maybe don't have that. Maybe don't have that. But, aside from that, yeah, no, I think I was fine with the food and the stuff that I had there. I think there's a couple more pictures. So this is inside the airport. There's a water fountain that had that looked pretty cool. It's on the way back, and yeah, it's just some video from the flight on the way back. Right, exactly. Unless you have a problem, then yeah, sure, go for it. But if you don't, maybe avoid it. I'm not sure where we were when this picture was taken, but I just saw some mountains, or they look like mountains. So I was trying to get a video of that in the background. They look like mountains that were peeking out above the clouds. So I thought that was a really cool sight. And then yeah, I've got a clearer picture of I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they're not mountains, but to me it looks like they were mountains that were peeking up above the clouds. So I don't know which part of the world this was in, but on the way back, there's something that I saw and I thought was a really cool sight. I could just drink milk, right? You know what I mean? Just drink milk, eat cheese, and that would do it. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's the last picture. That was the last picture. That was my trip to Pakistan. To Karachi in Pakistan. I had me a good old time. But yeah, I mean, I went mainly because, like I said before, I just wanted to be in a place where I knew the culture was different. I definitely got that. I definitely got that. You know, I had fun out there. Also saw some really like sad things out there about the realities of how some people live. And that's always a sad thing to see when you get face to face with that, you know. But yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I was only there for a few days, so of course I didn't see everything, right? But I do feel like I got a pretty decent range of things, from like the posher sides to the poorer sides, and seeing the differences, you know, and things like that. And yeah, it was a good trip. I met some really cool people, some really friendly people. I thought most people I met were pretty friendly. Couple of cab drivers probably maybe tried to rip me off, but most of the cab drivers were fine. And yeah, overall it's a good trip. I mean, yeah, like I said before, I would recommend people go in if it's something that you're thinking of doing. But yeah, just book a nicer hotel and be prepared to, even though things are cheap out there, even though things are mad cheap out there, be prepared to spend more money than you anticipate. You know, but yeah, it was a good trip. It was a good trip. I do eat cheese a lot of it just recently, so I'm pleased to enjoy it. Oh, thank you. But yeah, Now it's on to the next one. That's the plan. I don't know when yet. I was hoping maybe sometime around April. It may not be then, just because, you know, make sure I've got some money saved and stuff like that. But yeah, my next trip, God willing, will be Amsterdam. I'm not sure how I want to do it though. I'm thinking like I want to do it by going to Paris, right? And maybe just stay in Paris for like half a day and then like get a flight to Amsterdam. That's what I'm thinking of doing. That way I can do like 2 cities in one trip. Because Paris is a place that I would like to go to, but at the same time, I kind of feel like I don't know if there's a lot that I want to do in Paris. There's maybe just a few things that I'd want to see, like the Eiffel Tower and, you know, some the Louvre and stuff like that. I feel like you could probably do that in like half a day or less. And I'm sure there's loads to do in Paris. I like saying that, but just personally, in terms of what I'd want to do there, there's maybe just a few things I'd want to see. So I feel like if I go to Paris, I don't really need to book a hotel. If I time it right, I can go there like in the afternoon, to arrive in the afternoon, hit up a few sites, like a few like, you know, sites, take some selfies and things like that. Have some coffee, of course, right? But then yeah, go to an airport and fly to Amsterdam and maybe spend like 2-3 days there or something. So, but yeah, we'll see. There's still time, and you know, I've got to, you know, make sure I could do it without going broke. So, but hopefully, if not April, hopefully it be still this year. That's what I'd want to do. People can throw down on coffee and espresso abroad, they say. Hey, for sure. I don't have any espresso out there actually, but well, not straight espresso at least anyway. But yeah, no, the coffee was good. Especially that first one. That was really good. Cheese and Piccadilly sandwiches are my go-to at the moment. I need help. Oof. Boy, you must be on the toilet a lot. Boy, cost of living going up. You might want to save on toilet paper. I'm just saying. Oh, speaking of toilet paper, actually. So here's the thing about toilets in Karachi. You would either get a place that has toilet paper or a place that has a hose. I don't know if the hose is the right word to use, but it looks like a hose to me. It's probably called something else, I'm sure, but it looks like a hose. Or if, in the more fancy places like airports, you get both. Here's the thing though, like that hose, what it does is that you have like, you basically just hold it, you know, underneath you, and you press a button and it just shoots like water out. It shoots water to, you know, sprays water at you, and it cleans you out, you know. And there are places in London that have those as well, so I'm not unfamiliar with it, but it's more common in Karachi. Like you just have this hose and like you put it on, you spray it, and it just cleans you all the way out. Like you are clean afterwards. The only issue is that if you got a place where they don't have toilet paper as well, you would be clean, but you'd also be wet. You know what I mean? You'd be clean, right? Which is great, but you'd be wet. So like you kind of have to figure out how to, you know, shake some of it off before you pull yourself up. Otherwise you just have wet pants, you know. So yeah, you'd be clean. You'd be real clean. Like I ain't lying about that. I'm happy with that. Always good to be clean, right? Always good to wash yourself up properly. I'm a big fan of washing yourself up properly. I'm good with that. But if there's no tissue paper as well, you'd also be wet. It's like, well, take your own right. My hotel just had like the hose. It didn't have any toilet paper. So I just had to use like a towel and like just pat myself down afterwards. But okay, I'm all right. But yeah, I can't lie. That hose is good though. Like that hose will clean you out. Like it will clean you out. You know, I'm like, especially like, I don't know if you've used it. I mean, like I said, I've used them before, so I'm kind of familiar with it. But when you use those things for the first time, when you're not used to it, it's kind of like, I'm not sure, right? You kind of like, I'm not sure, but yeah, it cleans you out. Like it feels weird at first, but yeah, you are clean afterwards. Like all gone, nothing. It's just gone. So yeah, I'm good with the hose thing. I'm good with that hose spraying thing. I'm good with that, but be nice to have some tissue paper as well. You know, just some tissue paper as well, so I can be like, all right, I'll pat myself down. Okay. I'll try one. Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be well. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know, but I imagine it's gonna be somewhere in Hull. It's gonna be somewhere in Hull. It's gonna be somewhere in Hull. But yeah, it's a little weird at first, but it cleans you out. I'm just saying, Pakistan is a very conservative country, so I don't know if anybody eats each other's asses out over there. Maybe not. But I'm just saying, if you're going to, you'd want to make sure it's clean first, and yeah, that would clean you out. Just put it out there. Just put it out there. If there was, I got nicked. Yeah. But yeah, now Pakistan, yeah, that is another thing. Like, it's a very conservative country, which I knew, you know, before I went. But yeah, very, very conservative country in the sense that, I mean, you could walk the streets with a woman. It's not like that bad, like it's fine. But yeah, you just have to kind of be careful about things like, you know, touching in public and, you know, that sort of stuff. Like, you can't just walk up to somebody, give them a hug, you know. I mean, I don't know what the law says exactly, but it, at the very least, if it's not against the law, it's something that's very much frowned upon. So yeah, it could be like that. Like, I don't think, I mean, I didn't ask, to be fair, but I don't think it's so much of a case of it's illegal, but more of a case of, you know, it's like against customs and traditions and stuff. So yeah, so like, you can walk in the streets with a woman, that's fine. You can sit next to a woman and whatever, that's fine. But it'd be more of a case of while you're in public, you know, yeah, you just kind of make sure you keep your hands, you know. Pretty why they like white Brit chicks. They have watched those shows with the drunk trashy chicks. Yeah, probably. Hey, those white girls, they let you hold their hand. I heard those white girls would give you a high five. But yeah, that's the thing. But it's kind of weird as well, because like, although it's a very conservative country, like you put the TV on or whatever, and you'd see like very kind of non-conservative things. I mean, from Pakistani TV, not just like foreign TV or whatever, like actual Pakistani TV would still show like, you know, very kind of non-conservative things. Like, you see like, you know, like the provocative dancing and, you know, the tighter clothes where you see more body in the shape and stuff like that on the TV, and it's like, all right, so I don't know if it's fine for the TV, but it's not. I don't know. Or maybe they're just like skirting along the very borders of what the rules say. I don't know. I don't know. Give your BJ for a drink. Well, I mean, that's kind of true, actually. So I keyed. I mean, it's kind of true in some cases, but I keyed. Yeah, because it's a Muslim majority country, so you don't really get like places that sell alcohol. I mean, I don't know if alcohol is exactly illegal there, because it's not just, you know, Muslims, there are other religions as well, but it is very much Muslim majority, so most places, you know, wouldn't sell alcohol, right? And like I say, there's not really like nightlives and stuff like that, so you don't really have like clubs and bars and late night parties and stuff like that. However, and it's probably no surprise, like that stuff of course happens. Like, if you know the right people, you know, if you're like in with like the cool kids and, you know, that sort of stuff, you could find a party going on. Like, you could find like a party with drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. You could find that, but no, but you kind of have to know, you know, who to talk to, and, you know, be in with that kind of crowd where they arrange like the secret parties and things like that. But when you're only there for 4 days, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. It's absolutely true. I mean, cost of living crisis, so yeah. You do what you can. You do what you can. Ooh, let me not scroll down too fast. But yeah, man. I'm not sure what the coolest thing about Karachi was for me was, I mean, I guess the camel ride was pretty cool. That was a fun thing to do because I've never ridden a camel before. Never ridden any kind of animal before, actually. So that was a really cool, fun thing to do. The buggy ride was pretty cool as well, especially when you let me drive it. So those were probably like the single most coolest experiences, I guess. But yeah, like the beach was a nice beach, and you know, seeing like just animals in the streets is kind of like weird, but kind of cool as well. Getting to ride a motorbike and not wearing a helmet. don't do that. It's not advised, but hey. One drink would have worked for me. A donut maybe. Yeah, you gotta put your prices up. I mean, you can't be like, if everyone's doing it for a drink, I mean, you gotta be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm not that common, okay? Not just any old donut. It's got to be at least like Krispy Kreme's level donut. Like, not just like your local Tesco's donut, you know what I mean? You're like, at least a Krispy Kreme's donut. At least. Box of 12. At that, I know my worth. So what, like the 3 for $5 box won't do it for you? Was it 3 for £5 or was it £5.50? Well, that just won't do it for you. It's gonna be the 12 box. All right, cool. Classy girl, classy. But true say though, you gotta know your worth. You gotta know your worth because like you don't be giving it out too easily. I'm just saying, never good to give it away too easily. So yeah, 12 bucks, 12 bucks of Krispy Kremes. That's a reasonable price. So if it's like if it's a box of 3, is that just a tip? What's the tip? Is like okay. Flicking the tip. There you go. That's what you get for free donuts. Just flick the tip. Just flick the tip. Free we get me talking to you. Okay, I guess the real question then is, which do you value more? Krispy Kremes or Dunkin' Donuts? Because I know which ones I prefer. They're both good. Let me say that be clear. They're both good, but I know which ones I'd prefer. Yo, what up, Andrew? Some tasty looking donuts. Hey, for sure. They were very nice. I had to force them down my throat because I was so full by the time I was eating them. These are some pictures from my recent trip to Karachi in Pakistan. But how you doing, Andy? Had me some nice food. Let me show you like probably the best food I think I had there. It's gonna be this. I think this is definitely going to be the best food. I had some good food out there, but I think this is, in my opinion, mainly because, like, well, a few reasons. It was good, it was tasty, all that kind of stuff, but also it's something a bit different I've never had before as well, you know, like, and it feels like such an obvious idea. Like, there's got to be somewhere that sells them over here. It's got to be. Well, it doesn't got to be, but, you know, like, it's got to be. So I'll say that, yeah, for me, it was the best thing I had, just because it was something different, it was good, it was tasty, and it's like, yo, such a cool idea. Put pizza on chips. Duh. Of course. You spoke some Urdu. No, not really. I mean, outside of like a word or two, but nah, I didn't speak Urdu. It's kind of a shame though when you think about it, like, we're in Britain, and I imagine it's similar in America as well, but you can let me know, Brax. We're not really incentivized to learn more than one language, you know. Like, so, I'm not saying people don't do it. There are people who do learn, you know, different languages like French and Spanish and so on, and, you know, in school they do teach it, right? But once you've kind of gotten past school, we're not really incentivized. Like, there's, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of a shame, because you go to other countries and they'll speak English and they'll speak, you know, their native language, or they might even speak a third or fourth language as well. And that's kind of common in so many parts of the world where people speak, you know, 2-3 languages, right? But in Britain, it's like most of us just speak one language. And I feel like a part of that is down to the fact that English is so commonplace over the world that we're like, oh, well, why am I learning their language when they speak, you know, mine well enough, right? Maybe they don't speak it well, but they speak it well enough. And I feel like a big part of that doesn't really, because of that, like, we're not really incentivized to learn multiple languages, which is kind of a shame, I think, when you think about it. Because, like, you go to places and it's like, they'll speak English, they'll speak their native, they speak this and this, and we're just like, I just speak English. So, yeah. Was that camel? Yeah, it was a camel. Yes, I took a camel ride. Let me try and find it again. Where's it gone? I went to the beach there. There's the camel. Well, the camel and its owner. There's another picture of the camel. But yeah, I did take a camel ride. There's a video that will load up eventually. It's taken a while, but there is a video there. Most Brits can't even talk British properly. They got a different language, you know, for sure. Like, we barely speak our own language. I feel like that's how English sounds to people who don't speak English. I feel like that's how English sounds to them. Just like, yeah, same like that over here. Mexican, Spanish, French courses, but it's not really a requirement. Yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame. But yeah, why won't this video load up though? I ain't understand. Let me try to refresh this page real quick. Video's not loading. But yeah, I did take a video of me riding a camel. And now it's not loading for some reason. I don't know. Sorry, Andy. Sorry. Sounds like politics over here. That sounds like politics over here. Yeah, I mean, I think when you dive deep into it, there would be political reasons behind why that is, for sure. I can probably guess what some of those reasons are, but yeah, I'd rather not right now. That's a whole other thing to go into why so many countries in the world speak English. I think we could all pretty much guess why, but yeah, let me not go there. Let me not go there right now. I just got back from Pakistan. Let me not go too deep into that whole thing. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think we can probably guess why so many countries speak English. If you didn't know, you could probably guess, and you probably guessed correctly on your first guess. So let's just leave that there. Maybe some other time. It's just It's a lot. You know what? Let me try and find a different video, because I did post this video online, and so let me see if I can find the video. For some reason, it's not loading from this bit, but maybe it'll load from the other place I posted it, so I can still show you that video of my camel ride. Oh wait, no, it's not gonna go. You know, one sec. It's not gonna show up. There is it. It's on a different browser. Okay, there we go. This will do it. There you go. It's my camel ride, Andy. Jacob's back. Welcome back. True. I meant to say when you were going. That sound. Oh, that sound. Okay, right. Gotcha. Oh, could have been. More just pictures, really, Jake. So I think that's mostly what's been happening since you've been gone. Just showing some more pictures. I'm just skimming through some of them now. You can see them on the screen. So yeah, just some more pictures, some more vids. Hey, he's riding. I can't watch it. I've never ridden a horse, so I couldn't tell you. I'd assume it's different, because camels have that big hump in the middle, right? And horses don't. So I'd assume there's differences. And to be fair, I wasn't exactly riding the camel. I was more sitting on the camel while the guy pulls it along. So he was the guy that's actually controlling the camel, not me. I was more just sitting on the camel while they did what they needed to do. So yeah, I couldn't tell you how different it is to ride on a horse, because I've never sat on a horse like that in any kind of capacity. I don't believe I've sat on any animal like that in any kind of way. So yeah, that was my first time sitting on an animal and being taken from one point to another point. It's like a cool trip. Now, it was a cool trip. Definitely saw a lot. Yeah, true that. Online English mostly taught. Like I said, that's a fun. Yeah, indeed. I've never been anywhere. Never been outside of Toronto. Well, gotta do something about that, man. Traveling is a good thing for sure. I definitely recommend traveling. Doesn't have to be Karachi, of course, but I definitely recommend traveling. I just feel like the more you see of the world, the more you kind of broaden your kind of views and horizons and thoughts and things like that when you see things firsthand. Because it's one thing to hear about stuff on TV or whatever, but to actually see it firsthand, like, it's just a whole nother thing. Max called me an animal while sitting on me. Does that count? Depends. Depends on how she said it. Does anyone want L? I'm tired of crap. She just made herself a brew and did off in one. Oh, mate. I mean, if you wanted to give her away, you probably shouldn't have mentioned the fact that she makes herself a coffee or a tea and doesn't offer. It's like, well, you already let me know. I was like, no, come on. Should have left that bit out. Then I might have been like, yeah, maybe I'll take her. And then I found out later when it's too late, right? Just saying. Gotta talk her up a little bit. Get people interested. Then when they've already signed all the agreements and it's too late to turn back, and then you tell them, it's gonna make coffee and not offer you one. Damn it. Should have asked. was on the outside of Province once. Pull down. Need to bring back any souvenirs. Yeah, I bought a few like trinkets and gifts, but it's the coolest thing I got. This was a gift. It's a shawl. In fact, let me find a picture actually, because I got a picture of me wearing a shawl. Where is it gone? Here it is. Here it is. But yeah, it was a gift. So it's a shawl. It's like a long scarf. You just literally just wear it like this, just around your neck. I mean, you'd wear it with like, you know, more traditional clothes, I guess. But yeah, it's the really long scarf that you kind of wear on your neck as like a sort of accessory. But yeah, I don't know where I'd wear this, but it's pretty cool still to have. Right, so I thought I would inject a bit of levity. Souvenirs, hint, hint. Wow. Oh. Yeah. Anything for your host subs? I brought back a load of pictures and videos to show you. I brought that back. These videos, these pictures and videos are exclusive. I'm not. Most of these probably won't get posted on any kind of social media platform. So I'm just saying, you get exclusive photos and videos. So yeah, that's my gift to my to my village, to my people, to the mandem, to the gal them that come to this chat and chat with me for an hour or two. How long are we streaming for? I don't even know, you know. Just over 2 hours. Just over 2 hours. Okay. Pictures and videos. I'm glad you're honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, man. You didn't get my Turkish. You didn't get nothing. Just so you know, I thought about it, and it's the thought that counts. So I did think about it. I did think about it. But yeah, though, it's like there was a 2-hour delay. So here's the thing. So it's the way it was like a stopover flight. So it goes Karachi to Istanbul, and then Istanbul to London, right? And the flight from Karachi to Istanbul was supposed to be about 5 hours. It ended up taking 7 hours. Now I'm not too sure of the exact reason for that. My guess would be that they probably had to take a longer route. So it landed about 2 hours later than initially expected. Which meant that by the time it landed, I had about 45 minutes or less than 45 minutes really to get to my next flight. And you know, at airports, like 45 minutes might sound like a long time. It's really not. So you're really just like running through the airport because you've got to get through like the security checks and, you know, all that sort of stuff and things like that. And of course they got queues. They did at least fast track me a little bit because I guess they knew that my original flight was delayed and my next flight's coming soon. So at least fast track me a little bit. And that definitely helped because if I had to wait in that long queue, but that could have been an issue. But yeah, like I barely made it to the next flight. If I was like maybe 4 or 5 minutes later, I could have missed it. You know what I mean? Because you not only the way you have to do it is in this one, you had to go to like where the gate is, but from the gate they drive you to the actual airplane, so you don't go from the gate straight to the airplane. They drive you, so if you miss that bus or they miss that ride to the airplane, it's an issue. So it's really had probably about, to get to the actual gates, I mean, I think it took me about 20 to 25 minutes, and that was literally like just you know, like just in time. Like a few minutes delayed and it would have been. So yeah, it was a close one. Thank you. I'm glad I make it back safely too. No, you're making it for yourself. Well, yeah, but it's still a thought. Still thought about it. Make it visibility. Even call me Karen wants to do is evil. Do you have any layovers? Yes. Layover. Do you mean is that like when you have like 2 flights? Is that what you mean? Is that what layover means? Because if so, then yeah. It was like going there like from London to Istanbul and then waiting for the next flight. That was like 2-3 hours, I think. Wait, and then the flight to Karachi. But on the way back, because of the delay, it was just like straight into the next flight. And running while you're tired is not fun. Running while you're exhausted, because I did sleep a little on the plane, but I don't sleep very well on planes, I guess. Even though I opted for the extra leg room and everything, I don't tend to sleep very well on planes. So yeah, I got off the plane and I was still tired. I was like running for the plane like I'm running for the bus. I did apologize, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did apologize. I feel like I'm 90% sure I apologized for that. 10% chance I didn't. So should I apologize again just to be sure, or should I just? It's 2. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, it was 2 flights. First time went to Midwest of America, dressed for cold weather, and had a layover in North Carolina, which was hot as oof. Yeah, you gotta check them temperatures, man. Check them temperatures. Sounds like a could have go Karen and I'll hold that bitch in. Well, you gotta choose your battles, right? Isn't it? You gotta choose your battles. Like, there's times to unleash it, and there's times to be like, you know what? I'ma chill. If you unleash it all the time, then it kind of loses its value. You know what I mean? So it's like you kind of got to unleash it at the times where it's like, okay, this situation warrants it this time. So let me just let it fly. Yeah, that was it. Okay, sorry. Nah, it's all good. It's all fun. Next week, of course, coffee and baked goods. Talk Mardi Gras season is next month. Louisiana festival event. Centuries old. Time for that king cake. Okay, nice. I've heard of a Mardi Gras. I don't believe I know exactly what it is, but apparently, king cake. What is king cake? I don't know, but it sounds nice. Oh man. Yeah. Now the mystery has been revealed. Alright, let me look up king cake real quick. See what that is. King cake. Cake associated with Epiphany. So I could get a picture of this for you guys to show real quick. This is king cake. Can't lie though, those look nice though still. It does look nice. Yeah, so Kev is like a male Karen, I believe, or I kind of assume. That's what I've been using for male Karen anyway. So back in the day down, that's where it originated. Oh, whoa. I don't need to be offensive. I ain't trying to hurt feelings here. I ain't trying to make me cry. And that's so good. I would say, I mean, hopefully this isn't famous last words, none. But I would say in general, it's not that I don't get offended, but it kind of depends on a lot of different factors at any one time, you know. And I think for the most part, if I do come across things that I find offensive, I just don't engage with it, you know, because I'm not really looking to, you know, get into arguments and you know, that sort of thing, and fights and whatever. So for the most part, I just don't engage with it. It's rare that I would, I mean, if I feel like I have to, then I guess I would. But if I feel like I don't really have to, if I feel like that potential outcome is not going to do anything for me, then I'll probably just leave it alone and just like I say, pick your battles. So, yeah. Black version of Karen is a Keisha. Or Keisha, rather. Let me say it right, Keisha. Sure it's not Laquanda. Laquanda Tanisha Cantrell. That's weird because he is a closet perv who well. I mean, yeah, but well, you know, I mean, well, you know, this is Black folks think names. Yeah, I guess I have to like, or I'd assume anyway, it's like derives from somewhere, or you know. He didn't outright deny that he's a closet perv. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's not necessarily saying it's not true, you know. I mean, I'm not sure if it's if I'm in the closet about it. I think it's pretty open, actually, to be honest. Like, it's I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not as open as I think it is. Besides, I'm not sure pervert is the right word. It's more like, you know, curious about certain things. I think that's more. I feel like that's how I prefer. I prefer the term. I prefer the term curious. I'm not a pervert. I'm curious, actually. Just some more subtle with it. Alright, guys. It is nearing 12. So, yeah, I believe it's about time to start winding down. Let me take this thing off the screen. Come from me, I'm innocent. Of course, Sam is totally innocent. Sam is so innocent. She wouldn't even dream of giving out BJs for a box of 12 Krispy Kreme donuts. Like it just would not happen. You can't say that to her and expect to walk away. So it's not happening. Dates back to medieval Europe through Rome and Venice in the 17th century. 18th century to the French house and Bourbon Street. There's his name. Okay. I mean, I actually don't know what Bourbon Street is, but okay, cool. But yeah, we're all innocent here. We're all just super innocent. Exactly. Always on the best. Of course, we're always on the best behavior. We don't go out and do all this riff-raff, foreign filth. We don't do none of that. We don't do none of that. Great information. French connection. This is puritanical. Exactly. Where yeah. We're good boys and girls. Sometimes. Sometimes. So, religious, spiritual event, flows, strings, music, foods, some beats, etc. Other things. Okay. It's like a carnival, isn't it? Mardi Gras, I believe. Research that real quick before I yeah, like a carnival, right? Like a street parade. 16. She was given to me. Yeah, it was like a stork, isn't it? Like a stork comes, it flies out and delivers the baby to you. That's how that happens, right? It's a stork. Babies come from storks. Going to attend the Mardi Gras. Yeah, no, it looks cool, man. It looks fun. Like, we have the Notting Hill Carnival over here, which is a pretty big event that happens once a year. I guess it's something similar. But yeah, street parades, man. They can be fun. But yeah, guys. That's gonna be all for now. I think my next live stream should hopefully be on Friday, this coming Friday, back to playing some video games. And then next Monday should be the return of the Monday movie night, Halloween, back on Halloween. We still ain't got for the Halloween movies yet, so I forget which Halloween we're up to right now, but one of the Halloween movies, I think it's like the second of the most recent rebooted batch that we've got to watch now. So we've got like 2 Halloween movies to go, I think. Halloween Kills, yeah. So that was the second one of the rebooted ones, or the most recent rebooted ones. So yeah, that's the next one, and then maybe in a couple of weeks, which Halloween Ends. Yeah, I've been not in the carnival like twice, I think. It's pretty cool, but yeah, ultimately it's not really kind of my thing, but it's fun if you go. If you like it, it's fun. It's not bad, it's just not really for me. It's cool if you go with a good group of people, it's cool, but if you're kind of there with like boring people, it's like Mardi Gras is down in New Orleans. There's ones across the state too, especially here and there. catch up. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, indeed. But yeah, should hope we can stream again on Friday, and then back with the Monday movie nights with Halloween Kills. I don't think Halloween Kills is on any of the streaming platforms. Actually, let me just double check real quick, or any of the free streaming platforms, I should say. It might be one of the ones you got to pay for. Actually, I think. Yeah, unless you got Now TV, you got to pay for it. But it's $5.99 or from $5.99 on Amazon. But of course, you don't gas to do that. You don't gas to do that. You can just come along and have some fun. But yeah, so that's for this next Monday. In the meantime, I guess it's just like stuff. I might post a video, I might not. Pretty much back to normal. I may or may not post a video, and if I do, it might be some short, unedited thing. So yeah, maybe look out for one of those two. Those coconuts to people, but they stopped that. People got no. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, dashing coconuts in the crowd. Yeah, quickly realized that's not such a good idea. But guys, you've been awesome as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for keeping it lively. The village is strong. Because you make it strong. We're only going to get stronger until whenever. If ever. Peace.